Namaskar Swamiji. Very nice talk as has been said. I am still thinking about, as you said, no attachment, then how the families will go. I mean, it's considered that the mother and father have to take care of children and look for them as much as you can. And between a husband and wife also, if there is no attachment, then what is there? Unless
If there is no attachment, there will be. If there is no attachment, there will be true love.
yeah, but that's
Attachment is not love. We mistake attachment as love. That is the whole problem. That is the thing. So nobody has asked us not to take care of anybody. We don't have in India so many orphanages are run by Ramakrishna Mission. So many students are there under us in schools. So don't we take care of them? But
that's very hard
there
to
is
do, though.
hard that if it was not hard, then Krishna would not have told the whole Gita. Why would he have taken the trouble?
Yeah.
Because
No, I agree with that.
from the very beginning, we are making this mistake, and what we are seeing around us, all the people whom with you are associated, they are making the same mistake. So we think that is the correct thing. We think attachment is love. But no, attachment is not love. Attachment is another name for selfishness only. So when attachment goes, then only there is true love. How can we love anybody like Sri Ramakrishna loved, like Holy Mother loved, like Swami Vivekananda loved? Holy Mother, did she not love everybody? Her love was true love. Why? It was not attachment. When we become attached to any person, problem is you people live in such a narrow world. I and mine, few persons are those whom I call mine, that is all. So that is why there is no true love, because that love, so-called love of people, is limited towards just a few persons. That same love is not for everybody. So what kind of love is that? There is a sharp demarcation. First is I. Attachment is based only on one thing, I. If there is no I, there cannot be mine. So it is all based on selfishness. That first I, then comes mine. So my so-called love is limited to these persons only, to whom we are attached. So it is not love. If it is true love, it will go towards everybody. Like Holy Mother's love. We have a living demonstration of that.
Yeah, I agree that, but to get there, this is why we, want to do our namaskar all the time to Ramakrishna Ji and
Yeah.
Holy Mother,
Yeah.
because they are so far ahead of.
Yes, they are showing us the ideal. They are showing us that we cannot become like them, but we can walk in their footsteps. And the more we progress, the more will our attachment be turned into real love. So, if this was not possible to do, then they would not have come. If it was not possible for Krishna to get rid of, for Arjuna to get rid of attachment, Shri Krishna would not have told him to do so. The very fact that he is telling him means it is possible. But to succeed, one has to pay a price. In air-conditioned room, lying on a sofa and having some nice cold drink, we cannot have that. It is not possible. So whenever people are asked to give up anything, oh, you keep your religion to yourself. I don't want. I am quite happy.
Yes.
So if you are not, any great work cannot be done without sacrifice. If all the freedom fighters would have told, no, no, let the English take the country, India, I want to be with my wife, my child, then the country would never have won independence. So we have become so used to this comfortable life, and especially in Western countries, because everything is much better in sense of material than those countries which are not developed like India and all. So we have become, that was Swami Vivekananda when he lectured here, he used to say, in this country it is difficult to even speak of renunciation. People tell me, why do you want to renounce everything? Everybody is going on so happy, we have so much to enjoy. But these things to enjoy this country has is at the cost of some other country. So go to those countries and see what is the situation. Then you won't find that everything is rosy. So this is the problem with us. Slowly, 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 we begin to become narrow, narrow, narrow. And our world is just a few persons. Bas, that is all. And we think we have done our duty, taking care of these persons, keeping them happy with ice cream, pizzas, all these things, big cars. That is love. If that is love, better to give up such love.
Thank you.
Yeah. Problem is these things are hard to accept because with many of this is our first encounter with these thoughts. Whole life, Swami Vivekananda says, whole life a person has been living in darkness in a cell. Now if he comes out and sees the sun, he becomes afraid. Oh, I will get burned, let me go into darkness. Because he has become so used to that. So we have become so used to weakness. Now strength looks impossible. And it looks that not only it is impossible, but it is not worthy of having. What we are doing is okay. But if what we are doing is okay, then we would have attained the supreme goal of life. We would not have experienced any suffering. But attachment makes us so vulnerable. All the time we are worried. All the time we suffer, we don't know. That is the thing. So anyway, Milanji is there joining from Chennai. She is doing well in the new job. That is very good. So Shivaji.
Yes, Pranam Maharaj. Very nice talk, and I think I was thinking about what Pranvaiji was asking. This is a common question when initially you start on the spiritual path. I've asked this question many times in different monks and nuns have given different answers. And I'm actually thinking of maybe if you give examples of people who remain in the householder life but learn how to practice the spirit.
All the Sri Ramakrishna's, all disciples are there. There are not one, many.
I was reading Nag Mahashaya's book of
Nag Mahashaya was one of the greatest men ever born. That is different.
We cannot reach.
Yeah.
This thing was just the opposite. It's basically a spiritual giant who was asked by Thakur Sri Ramakrishna to stay in the householder as an example.
Yeah, that is completely different.
Could you give a couple of examples of people who stayed in the householder's life? And many of the monks.
Many disciples were there of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course Sri Ramakrishna in the modern age. Many people known to me also, some are, I will not call them saints and all, but they have also limited this type of attachment. One couple I met when I had gone to USA. So I actually stayed in their house for a few days. So they had no children. So I asked them, "You have no children?" They said no. But willingly they have done that. Because they say we want to lead a spiritual life. And previously they were very far from the ashram, they have come close to the ashram now. Just to be near the ashram. They've changed the residence. So I know of that couple, another couple I know in India. So that much sacrifice even ordinary people like us can do. So it is not that there are not many persons. The problem is, as I said, we live in such a small circle, and all we see of the outside world is generally through the television. That is our state, all through the mobile phone. So we have become so self-centered that we think that there is nothing apart from this, nothing can be done. It is not that. People are there, ordinary people like us, who make such sacrifices.
Yeah, Sri Ramakrishna had said, like, for monks they are fighting it outside the fort, and for householders we are fighting from inside the fort. Yeah, so but it is still the battle is still the same. It is just more different types of Thank you, man.
More newcomers I'm asking first.
Sorry, I understand attachment is the reason for fear and stuff.
Yes.
In order to avoid that, would you rather suggest to have a bigger goal or just?
You have got the right thing.
Okay.
So you cannot remain without some sort of liking. Human beings cannot live. We cannot live in a completely empty world. So Sri Ramakrishna has given the best example, that if there are two magnets, one smaller and one bigger, and if there is a piece of iron, where will the piece of iron go? To the bigger magnet. So to get rid of our worldly attachment, we need to get attached to something which is much bigger than the world, which is much stable, which is not petty, which does not come and go, which will fulfill us completely forever. And that something is the greatest thing. That is God. So once we become attached to God even slightly, these things will reduce to some extent. And the more attachment to God increases, the more these will decrease. That is the only way. So in spiritual life, that's why we have to do both. First, try to give up worldly things, plus positively try to go towards God. So increase that, decrease this. So when that will increase, this will decrease automatically. So higher goal, higher pursuits will keep us from this lower thing. It is very easy to give examples. See all these great artists, great painters, all the wonderful people in India, still they are living. And those who were there, Vilayat Khan Saab, then the Sarod, Ali Akbar Khan is supposed to be one of the greatest musicians in the world ever. Ravi Shankar, Chaurasia ji is still living. Shiv Kumar Sharma has just passed away. All these people. Have you ever read in the newspaper, anybody, that these kinds of people have their names linked to anything bad? Never you will see. Why? Because their minds are always on that level, great scholars. They cannot even think of these small things. So when the higher thing attracts us, lower thing will go. That is the only way.
So, hearing the lecture, I got the feeling that there's obviously a conflict in Arjun between emotion and duty. So, I'm thinking Lord Krishna is is saying that sometimes what looks like kindness is actually avoidance.
Yes, because avoidance, no. Kindness is weakness. Because Because this kindness of Arjuna is limited to a few persons. We forget this again and again. He had fought hundreds of battles before. This was not the first battle. So he has killed hundreds of people. Why only now is he telling all these big words?
Right.
Because these are the persons to whom he is attached. If he was such a great favorer of non-violence, why did he fight those other battles?
Right. Okay. And so, from what I also understood is that we have to face our fears, we have to kind of drop our weaknesses, and then we have to kind of rise to the purpose of the higher purpose. So does that mean that there is no place for emotions on the spiritual path?
Emotion, but not impure emotion. Our emotions are impure. Why? Because they are completely governed by our attachments. Attachment is the main thing which is guiding us. That is the problem in our life. So our guide should be what? Not our own like, dislike, attachment. Our guide should be Krishna. Our guide should be God. Our guide should be His teachings, scriptures. When that becomes the guide, then the emotions will slowly become purified. Now if we follow our emotions, we are doomed. It will only cause suffering.
Thank you.
Purified emotion will lead us towards God. And the whole science of purifying emotions and helping those emotions to help us attain God, that whole science is nothing but Bhakti Yoga.